Brought to you by...
Have you ever looked back into your family's history and discovered a dark stain that festers beneath the veneer that they project to the rest of the world? No? No one? Well, how about this? Have you ever wondered what life is like for a witch? Hello and welcome back to ETF. Today, a mother and her daughter live a life almost in seclusion in a mountainous area of the US. The adolescent Izzy only has one friend, her mother, a woman full of secrets with whom she shares a private rock band. The mother does not want people to come near her daughter, but Izzy manages to escape to the city several times. There she will discover that her family has a past related to witchcraft. Apparently the idea of the film came to actress Toby Poser, who learned that she was donor-received, and she imagined, what if her biological father was actually the devil? Our two protagonists, Toby Poser and Zeldana Adams, are actually mother and daughter in real life, and you can easily see the resemblance on screen. We open on the merciless hanging of an old witch drenched in blood, a hanging which does not put her down. The wicked hag continues to struggle, even after a full round of gunshots on top of it. She struggles and gags until she bursts into fucking flames and soars into the sky, kicking us into a punk rock performance that jumps the whole movie into a tone I was not expecting. This is what I would consider one of the latest entries into the punk rock horror side of the genre. It doesn't take long for the atmosphere of the film to take over, enveloping us into the haunting atmosphere of witchcraft. Right from the early moments of the narrative, things feel somehow off. Something between our mother and daughter doesn't quite sit right. When Izzy asks if she can accompany her mother to town, without a response, there is an understanding that she cannot go. We almost immediately see that the mother is a practicing witch, keeping tabs on her child through spell work. There's a slightly low-budget quality to this film that is actually sort of charming. The narrative pulls no punches when it comes to showcasing the witchcraft elements. Very early on, showing us the mother turning a wandering hiker into dust for interacting with her daughter. Though it is not explicitly told to us right away, you get the sense that the mother has been telling her daughter that she is sick, that she cannot interact with others, in order to keep her protected and hidden away from the world, even homeschooling her. As the plot progresses, we start to learn that her mother is keeping her hidden away because she is somehow dangerous. Something dark swells within her that she has never been able to control, and her mother has done her best to isolate her and keep it at bay. Our younger protagonist, the daughter Izzy, is portrayed with such a perfect level of awkward sincerity. This was not her first on-screen performance, but you can somewhat see that she is still new to the playing field. She delivers every moment with this character beautifully, showcasing the idea that she has never had very much contact with anyone outside of her mother in such a realistic manner. There were a couple of clunky visual effects that I noticed in the film, like when the mother goes into her secret room. There's an effect on a picture frame that is badly laid over the shot, even though she crosses in front of it. The editing of the film doesn't shy away from being flashy, but still maintains this dark atmospheric vibe that you would find in something like Hereditary. These choices blend the punk rock style into ambient atmospheric terror quite well. In many ways, the structure of the film feels like something out of the 70s. Its dark tone and slow pace gradually introduces us to the world of the story, this self-isolating world of witches, dabbling with forces that can't be fully controlled. We cut into these rock segments throughout the film that showcase her and her mother performing together. These elements work together throughout montages of her honing her abilities, giving the film an almost extended music video feeling. The film is set deep in the mountains, beautiful, thick, seemingly ancient forests surrounding our protagonists, somewhat reminiscent of the film Pyewacket to some degree. We are continually reminded of its presence as she wanders throughout its thrush of trees. There is an idea presented in the film that witches consume life essence for power. Growing up, she fed on plants, which I'm sure contained some of the life left in them. When she starts to eat living things, the life essence affects her like a drug, and she feels the power circulating through her. This entire film is sort of a unique perspective on witchcraft, presenting it through their point of view. The overall ideas behind the film center on protecting your child from the darkness of the world, and that runs within your own history, raising them to be their own, yet more decent than those in your past. It's about honoring your elders to some degree, but it also speaks to the idea that you cannot control what your children become, that they will make their own choices, despite your best efforts, and walk their own path through the dark forest that is life. It tells this story through the perspective of these witch-like creatures, these Hellbenders. I have to give Hellbender a B-. This one tackles atmospheric horror in a very different way than I've become accustomed to. It focuses heavily on the perspective of our characters rather than the tone surrounding them. Personally, this was refreshing in a lot of ways. I hope that at least some of you seek it out on Shudder.